they play. You there? They play.
Before I go, let's talk about Gangs of Lagos. This is Amazon Prime's first original Nigerian movie, produced and directed by Jalisola Usiberu. Let's talk about the plot. My interpretation for the plot of Gangs of Lagos is a dystopian society where poverty is weaponized to maintain the status quo. A dystopian society is a recurring theme in Nollywood, and this because it encapsulates the realities of the societies I believe in. Characters. Before I dive in, here are my top 10 characters from Gangs of Lagos.
It's across the river.
At number 10, we have Cash. Cash is a street star. Zlatan definitely brought in a little bit of spice and a little bit of comedic vibes to that role. It was really interesting. I honestly do not feel like anyone else would have gotten the role as good as he.
Your blood's gonna dry.
Terrible. Played by Black Kumar. Terrible did an amazing job. Very important to the movie. He's such a fool. No disrespect to him, but such a fool. He's a very funny person, and effortlessly, just doing his thing. It was very important to add, that bit of spice into the story.
It's across the river. Across the river.
Gift was an interesting character. There were different sides to her. There was a fun, playful side. There was a very deeply emotional side when Ify passed. You could see the gangster, the fight, different shades of her. She was instrumental in the story. And like I would say again, it would have been very nice to have a little bit more backstory into her. Nino Lowo was very nice to see alumni of Big Brother in this movie. Big Brother Africa, Big Brother Nigeria. People like this just make me happy. It gives me so much joy to know that we have such amazing talents in Nollywood. It would seem he was just right for the role. The looks, the mannerisms, everything. It was also important to see the humanity in him. Yes, he was a thug doing some illegal stuff. What was definitely clear is there were some principles. Never wanting to allow Oba to see some certain things before his age. The way he wanted to care for this boy was just amazing. He's one of those characters that you feel they killed off too fast. But I wanted to see a little bit more of him. At number 6, we have Tenny.
Oh, my crush. My sugar banana.
Bimbo Ademoye deserves every recognition and accolade she's getting in Hollywood right now. She has been working really hard for these particular moments, and I would say every movie I've seen her, every character I've seen her portray, it has just been like, it just brought Bimbo down, and we're going to make the script based on me, because she always slays it. It's always, the character representation is always apt. It was very nice to see the progression of her character, ideologically, growing up. You could always see the fact that she was well grounded to still keep up and stay real with her homies, people she grew up with. It was also important to see that raw side of her come out, and that was very important to see some certain strength, not just this soft, spoiled girl. As they say, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. Mommy Obalola. Wow. I'm so happy when I see people like this slaying their roles. It was very emotional, very strong. I could just say, as much as seeing her, I could really feel everything that was going through her mind. The plight of a mother trying to take her child out of this way. The hurt of obviously losing the husband to a similar path the child is about to fly. So definitely she played a character very well. And she was almost unrecognizable. It was just really wonderful. I do not think any other person would have so much strength, power, and seriousness. She did a wonderful job. She just hits. You could see the raw talent. You could feel it. You could almost get lost, in that play. And I think that's, one of the marks of a very great, performing artist. If you check your time, Ify, played by Chike. Chike did an amazing job. Ify would be one of the most liked characters in Gangs of Lagos. It was really sad. Of all the movies I've watched, personally, I think this is one of the really sad moments when a character dies in a movie. I've never felt so. It was deep. It was deep, man. It felt it deep. If you're not emotional, if you're a hard guy, you definitely feel it. He brought music vibes to. Ify was innocent, stupid, immature, talented, a little bit naive, I would say, and was obviously very suspicious, that Kazim had to send him for some. When you're sending someone to, dissolve a potential threat, you kind of send your best. So looking at the organizational structure of their criminal enterprise, you could definitely tell he's like a small boy in the mix, handling mega tasks, tax collector, driver. You could definitely just tell he's just like a tag along, domestic, not really operational. His passing was instrumental. I think it was a domino effect, which was crucial to the progression of the story. And number 3, Mommy Ify. I would say this has to be one of the most iconic scenes we've ever experienced in Hollywood, a Nigerian movie. Come and beat me, I'm saying facts, but it's just a fact. And I think from time to come, this scene is going to be very instrumental because it was powerful, emotional, iconic. There are a lot of emotions that could express a lot of things that Nigerians were going through, coming out or going to the later part of the political season in the country. It was just powerful. I keep saying powerful and iconic. I honestly do not see any other person doing a good job the way she did a good job. It was wow. And number 2, we have Obalola Akonde or Basco. You're surprised that he's number 2. He's the main character of Gangs of Lagos, played by Toby Bakre. Toby is an amazing actor, really, really amazing. He's going to go really far. I'm really excited to see more works from him. More like a similar role to Brotherhood. So we just hope we get to see him do other things as well, just to kind of test his versatility and see what else he's able to do. But other than that, Toby is an amazing actor. You could see the way he looked at Tenny. You could almost feel like this was love. I was almost suspecting that, but he did a very good job. He did a very good job. The fighting, the action, the emotions, it was just perfect. You could definitely see there was already an awakening in him towards where he's going to. From the progression of the character, I've seen him to be someone that wanted more. And when you watch the movie, you could see he had plans. After this, you do this. But the funny thing is, when you get into this thing, it's very difficult to come out. At number 1, we have Kazim. I'm not in support of what the character represents, but the representation of the character was apt. Very good job from the actor. In Nollywood, we've never fallen short of amazing antagonist performances from Shegun Rizzi, Saint Obi, Rest His Soul, Hank Sanuku, Jimike. We've had amazing performances, and it seems we have a new bad guy on the scene. His character was just amazing. The representation of the character was apt. It was real. As much as you hated him, but definitely you could see the game in his acting. It was really superb. There was this psychotic vibe, crazy vibe. It was almost like if you had not seen this guy before, you think that this is just Kazim. You might not think of Olarutimi Fakunle as somebody else. You just think of him as, this is just Kazim. I think he did a very wonderful job. It was very versatile. As much as I hate to admit it, he really carried the movie. A lot of the carrying of the movie, he did that. Yeah, he did. The setting and cinematography of Gangs of Lagos. The movie was shot in Lagos. Gangs of Lagos cannot be shot in Ekiti State. The cinematography. The movie employed very good use of camera angles. The lighting was superb. Amazing use of ambient lighting to set the mood for each scene. Shooting in the most populated city in Africa would always be a hassle. Big ups to the film crew for shooting in Lagos. It's always very difficult. If you live in this state, you know how difficult it is to do anything in public. So big ups to them for that. Let's talk about the things I like and do not like about the movie. Let me give you bad news first before I give you good news. These are things I do not like about Gangs of Lagos. The fight scene, especially the first one, felt a little bit choreographed. Now, don't take this the wrong way. The fight scenes are very good, and in fact, we've come a long way from the old Nollywood and the way action movies used to be. I won't play anything for you to see. You already know, especially those. So those accident scenes, Oh my god. Go. For the characters, I feel we did not really have a background story into Gift. Maybe she wasn't so important to the story, but it just seemed like she appeared. There isn't much, into it. Casting was 98% right. I mean, yes, everybody slayed their roles, but it just kind of felt that, and there's no disrespect, Tony Abraham is a wonderful actress, but I just feel that this particular role, it wasn't it. It wasn't it. She delivers, she's amazing, but this wasn't just it. It did not feel like it. A lot of people have some, side comments about where she stands on the political side. Obviously, the conflict between that and the character. I don't know, they would have used somebody else, or the delivery wasn't just right. So I feel maybe she wasn't just the right person to deliver the character. The death of Ify. Oh, you know it's a movie, but then it just hits different. We're all excited to see what the future would hold for him. He did not deserve to go like that. It was really a low point. I'm not really an emotional person, but I felt it. I really did. It was definitely quite suspicious for Kazim to send someone like Ify to do such a job. When you look at the structure of the criminal organization they had, Ify was just like a small boy, like an errand boy, sorting out very minute tasks. When you have such a perceived threat, you tend to send your strongest soldier to get the job done. So definitely it was very suspicious. Fortunately, the way the events happened, it was just a really sad moment. Fight scenes. I feel like the fight scenes were, especially the first one, a little bit choreographed, so to speak. It didn't feel so engaging. This is no disrespect to the movie. They did a very great job. If I was to rate the fight scenes, I'll give it like an 8/10. There was just something a little bit off about it. I don't know if it's just me. There was something off about it. What I like about Gangs of Lagos, casting was really, really good. Like, everybody played their characters very well. The title sequence of Gangs of Lagos was very beautiful. It was such an immersive and powerful way to begin the movie, and big ups to the designer for putting that together. It was really nice. Yemuli slayed throughout the entire movie. Big ups to his costume designer for making sure that he dripped with so much swag throughout the entire movie. I think definitely he would get best dressed in Gangs of Lagos. Awakening and redemption make for a very good story, and the message behind Gangs of Lagos is very effective. We live in a society where there's a structure of the elites oppressing people beneath. Dystopian society. The message of Gangs of Lagos is effective because there's always room to break free from the shackles of oppression. The structure of the Gangs of Lagos story was linear with its narration. A linear structure definitely begins from beginning to the end, how it normally happens in real life, from point A to point B. And there was a little bit of flashback at the climax of the movie. Suggestions. Here are some things I think that we could do moving forward. I feel there should be a sequel, Gangs of Another State, perhaps.
This is the Centrum. Like, subscribe, and share. Just the facts.